Now we're live. Welcome to the workshop, everyone. I'm here with Howard, Summer, and Shale. I hope I'm pronouncing all your names correctly. Howard is from California, Summer is from Chicago, Shale is from Arizona. Did I get it?
You got it. Well done.
Yes. All right. For those who don't know how this works, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. For those who don't know how this works, everyone has an assigned topic. They're going to do 3 to 5 minutes on it, and then we give them 3 to 5 minutes of feedback. Once everyone is done their topic, everyone does their own material for 3 to 5 minutes. We give them 3 to 5 minutes of feedback, and then you get to plug your stuff at the end if you have any social media you'd like people to follow or shows coming up or anything. That's good with everyone? Yes. Does anyone want to start? No? I can start. Yeah? Okay. I wrote this today, and my topic was meteors. Let me just bring it up right here. So, yeah, I don't get, let me just put my timer on. I don't get why meteors are less expensive. I mean, there's more of them to play around with. You don't get an extra meat on your sandwich for less money. It should cost more. I mean, if anything, the meteors should be more expensive than the skinniors, right? Anyways, moving on from that. Meteors, or meteorites as they like to be called, are in the sky. And dinosaurs were killed because of them. The meteors killed all the dinosaurs. And honestly, it's part of the dinosaurs' fault because the scientists were like, hide in your bunkers. But the dinosaurs were like, nah, it impedes on our freedom, you know? Fun fact, the alligator and the chicken were the only ones that went in the bunker. And it was a bloodbath in the beginning, but in the end, the chicken made it out stronger than ever, and the alligator learned a little something about boundaries. So win-win. Meteors and shooting stars are interchangeable in their definition, but you wouldn't interchange them in a sentence. Like, you wouldn't sing, when you wish upon a meteor, doesn't matter who you are, anything your heart desires will blast through earth. I mean, I don't know if you recognize it. That's the song you hear at the beginning of the Disney movies with the castle logo. Only the crappy Disney movies that didn't put a lot of budget in, though. The real good ones have their own theme songs. Let's talk about Disney character privilege, you know? I mean, white privilege is nothing compared to Disney character privilege. They got like a fairy godmother and moral compass characters of the wazoo. What's up with that? They basically have zero thinking to do on their own, you know. And the proof is that the moral of these stories is usually chillingly simple. Like a sociopath could figure that out. You know, like a lot of Disney movies' moral is like sometimes ugly people are nicer than pretty people. I needed to watch a 2 hour movie to figure that one out. Or Cinderella. Someone will love you even if you're poor, but not if you look poor. You know, the moral of the Bambi story, sometimes you gotta be your own dad. A little sad. Oh, never forget who you are. The moral of The Lion King, that has been a beacon of truth for me. You know, never forget who you are. I usually think about it when I start to wonder if I should get into vaping or if I'm on my way to buy some Heelys. I'm like, don't forget who you are. This isn't you. Like, don't get the Heelys, you know? Or if I start to wonder if I should get some bangs. It's been very helpful. I'm going to end talking about a little bit about astrology. since meteors are in the sky, you know? And astrology fortune these last few months probably read something like your relationship is going to be under stress. You won't have much work to do now, so it's really time to dive into your hobbies. Don't forget to brush your teeth, you know? You'll get a health scare, and your lucky numbers are non existent. Life is pain, trust no one. That's it for me. Thank you. All right, so feedback time. What did you guys think?
Was very good, and I
Thank you.
especially like the part that seems to relate to what's going on in today's world with the dinosaurs and the social comment in there, I think, and the Disney privilege. Those two things, I think, hit me the best. But I
You
think
like
it's all
that?
so good. I like it
Okay.
all. I think the two that I like the best.
All right. What about you, Summer?
I mean, it's all great stuff. I love the Disney morals. I think it's great that you did a whole bunch of those examples. Yeah, like I think there's so much opportunity in that, like to even expand that to a larger bit, right? And I also am just so curious about your uh, whether you. I guess I could just ask you: do you love astrology? Like, is that actually a thing? No. Okay. So I was like, I really wonder how Victoria feels about astrology. Like
I don't really mind,
you know,
but
no
no,
strong feelings either way.
no.
I love. Yeah, I just love the idea of like what it would be like for you to actually be into astrology and like what other like fortunes you could read of other people and or maybe
Yeah.
characters that you could do like you as the astrology teller. I know that most people are really into astrology. That's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Shale?
Yeah, I also really liked the like the silly morals. I think I would have I liked every time you were trying to connect something to the meteor part like back. I thought that that was like good. Like with the sandwich, that was funny.
Okay.
Um, like you said like meteor and then littler or something, and that was good.
Yeah, it was a play on meaty horror.
Meteor.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay. Whoops.
Sorry.
Meteor. I thought it
Maybe
was
it's my accent.
meter that you were playing on.
I thought you were saying like meteor, like something meaty, like
Oh,
extra meat.
I guess that would have been maybe a little more better, maybe more family friendly.
maybe
No worries.
maybe some more meteor puns since you're already going that direction.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
liked the shooting star part, like the singing and the. You actually had your transitions were really good. You started off with like something kind of random, but then you talked about like the shooting star, and then you transitioned into Disney, and then you talked about movies. I thought that was like really good.
Thank you.
yeah.
All right. Who?
But there's one other thing you have this kind of character. I don't know how you perform or if you do this all the time, but I love the point of view that you took, which was like kind of an expert, but not really sure about what you're about. I just really love that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. Sometimes it's nice not to research your stuff, you know, and just pretend like you know everything.
That's true.
All right. Who wants to go next? Howard, you ready?
Yay!
Let's go. I'm gonna start the timer when you tell me.
Okay, my name is Howard Serbin, and I was given the topic baskets. Hilarious topic. And I have a question. Okay? I was born in a basket. I'll be buried in a casket. I've rarely done anything drastic, rarely been a basket case, so I have a smile on my face. It hasn't always been a basket of flowers, but I've seen more sunshine than showers. I'm
Aw.
really good with a shopping basket. It's almost magic. I go down the aisles with amazing speed, grabbing just what I need. At checkout, I guess the price right on the dot. The clerk's impressed, but back home, my wife is not. I say, wasn't that guess amazing? And my smile brightens, but she scoffs, you always get the same items. Basketball, I love it. Love the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bruins. But on the court, I look like I don't know what I'm doing. I once put a gift basket in a laundry basket. Once made a basket out of wicker. It broke when I put in a whiskey bar. It couldn't hold its liquor. Coffee lovers like filter baskets. Wire baskets are handy on a bike. Until I wrote this, I didn't realize how important baskets are in my life.
That was good.
Yay!
Thank you. Wow, like I never heard something like, oh, I'm getting a lot of echo. Is someone having the sound on their, you should be using earphones. Please and
I am.
thank you. Yes.
I'm using
Sorry.
headphones.
Okay. It was just a little overwhelming. I really like the format. I never heard like a comedy thing like this. I like all the puns that you put in there. I can tell you put a lot of work into it. It was nice. My only thing would be like before a punchline, just do a pause so that like people know that it's coming. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
But other than that, it was good. Does somebody else have anything?
I do, but I'd like to wait another minute because I just went through this this total trying to hook up and get on the site trauma.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you.
It's okay. I just need about 60 more seconds
That's
to
okay.
decompress.
Yeah. What about you, Summer?
Well, that was really impressive, Howard. How long did it take you to write that?
It's one of those things that didn't take very long to write, except for the few parts that I got stuck on. That took a long time. A long time to read.
Do you do that? Do you do this format a lot?
You'll see later. I do a lot of singing.
Okay.
I like to do a lot of singing in line. So even at the trailer, sometimes I'm too theatrical. That's what I'm working on. I want to do myself.
It reminded me of Dr. Seuss. I'm getting a lot of feedback on my end too. Is anybody, because I changed it to these, so is anyone else hearing that too?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's not just me. Okay. Yeah, but it just reminds me of Dr. Seuss, I guess. That's all I really wanted to say. I like that idea of just a whole character like that.
For a short while, I called myself Dr. Sousaphone.
Dr. What?
Just for a short while. Dr. Sousaphone.
Sousaphone.
I heard the sousaphone in the pure instrument.
That's good.
Anyway.
All right. What about you, Shale?
I'm a sucker for a good rhyme, so I really enjoyed that. I felt like I was in some sort of like rapping escapade. And I also like how you used basket like in different meanings, like weaving a basket or like making a basket. Like in basketball, I thought I really enjoyed the different perspectives. So because that's also a good opportunity for like puns maybe or something. But so that's maybe something you could look at. But I thought it was really fun.
All right. Paul, are you okay?
Yeah, I couldn't listen long enough to give you any feedback, Howard. I just want you to know.
Okay. That's all right.
And I really can't hear you either, Howard. But
I'm gonna get earphones.
Okay.
He's gonna go get your. I think he has a tech guy.
Yeah. I wonder if his internal microphone is not like the computer, or he's not using that. Maybe that might be why he's sounding like he's so far away.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that feedback noise gone? That might have been me, like low key.
Oh, I don't know if it was you or not. Like,
I think there was a couple of you that were.
A couple of us.
I don't.
Maybe all of us together created it.
Yeah, I don't want to like go take the blame, but low key probably was me. Is this Howard's grandson?
Oh, hi.
I think Howard dyed his hair.
No,
Son, if you can believe it or not.
Yikes!
your son?
Yeah, we can't hear the microphone very well. If you could like, I don't know what's
Oh.
going on
Do
your
something
end.
about that.
Yeah, he was 41 when he had me.
Oh, wow.
Son. Yeah.
There's hope for me yet. Just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't a mistake. At least that's what I've been told. So,
Did you hear us that we are having trouble hearing the hearing you?
I think he's there to solve it.
if you have these on,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
close to the.
Here. I guess they don't have any trouble hearing. We have just have trouble hearing.
You don't want to be restricted. Let me give you the USB.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, me too. This is great.
He's very good at impersonation,
Okay.
Oh,
and he was in comedy sports. You know comedy sports?
No.
yeah.
Popular in California.
Yes, they have one here in.
Comedy teams against each other.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
You don't want to be in a-
It's super fun.
Oh yeah, it's a little hard to.
Yeah.
Still didn't quite seem to do much though on our end.
All
It's a
right.
comedic family.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I have a real quick question for you, Victoria. Are you lighting people, or what are you? How does the process go with
Yes, I
that?
would like say 4 and then like show you the thing if it's 5 minutes.
Okay, so you'll do the light if it's actually 5. So you'll be
Yes.
like, that's the 1 minute, and then wrap it up. Okay, sounds good.
Hey, Howard's son, you need to bring up the microphone because we can't hear him very well.
Son of Howard.
Microphone?
Son of Howard, bring up the microphone in the settings.
Son of Howard.
Bring it up.
Okay, I have an idea.
Like biblical.
Okay.
I don't want to throw you
Lost
off.
Howard tribe.
Sorry.
Oh, technology.
We should move on though because I'm getting really stressed out about our timing. All right. Who wants to go next?
Okay.
That better?
Can you hear me?
Did someone volunteer?
Bring it up more.
No.
I'll
For
volunteer.
me.
Mine's
Yeah?
really. I'm nervous, but I'm gonna go anyway.
Who's this? Shale. Okay.
Oh, this is way better, Howard.
Yes.
I think. Oh no, it's not actually. That was
That was
Okay,
me, that was
awesome.
That's okay.
How about now?
No.
Oh, I'm using this microphone, not the camera's microphone.
I feel like it's better.
Yeah.
It is a little bit better when he speaks. I don't.
Yeah.
When the son is speaking, I can hear him clear.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Okay, so see if they can hear you. So this is your microphone. That's the microphone? No, other.
Okay.
I think
Oh, good.
They almost
guys.
got it.
Let's.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
good.
it is better. It is.
Ah, it is.
All right, we're gonna move on with Shale.
It is a
Are
little
you ready?
Sure.
No. You want to mute yourself when you're not.
Okay.
I think it's too late.
Howard.
I'm gonna start the timer.
You'll be
when
great.
You tell me.
Under yours?
All right. So my topic was hall monitors.
You don't need it from- you know?
So for those of you that don't know, as depicted on television, hall monitors are the little bitches that take pride in having earned the privilege to write up their fellow students.
for things like running late or running in the halls. So obviously there's two clear stances you can take in regards to hall monitors. You can hate them for busting you for running late or for doing something inappropriate in the hall, or you want to be them and have their power. I was in the latter group. I dreamed of being a hall monitor. I used to watch TV and watch the hall monitor episode and just picture myself in that sash. I actually used to participate in pageants. I actually have a 22-year losing streak going. I still participate in pageants. But I think part of why I wanted to be a hall monitor was because I wanted that sash. Because that was the closest I was ever going to get to wearing one. Regardless, though, I thought the kids that wore, what am I saying? I thought the kids that were the hall monitors I thought they were cool. I just wanted their job. I thought they just had so much power. And I now realize that I was kind of like, I was desiring the pleasure of punishing others, and that might make me a sociopath. So I'm kind of glad I never became a hall monitor. I think it would have really just like done some bad things to me mentally and messed with the school system. I had a lot of plans for what I was going to do if I was a hall monitor. Most of these plans involved blackmailing other students into doing what I wanted them to do. Like, I'll let you chew gum in the halls if you give me your hall pass. I don't know, just like really dumb things. But I was gonna be like a gangster of the halls, which is really funny, like in my mind. But nowadays schools have gotten a little smarter and they don't have hall monitors anymore. It's not a thing. So by the time I got to high school, they didn't have real hall monitors. I was crushed. I had been preparing for that job my whole life. But they did away with hall monitors and replaced them with teachers' aides. And the teachers' aides were people that wanted to be teachers but couldn't quite hack it. And if you thought me as like the student hall monitor gangster was bad, you got to see these teachers' aides. They've never been. They take so much pride in being able to write someone a detention for running late. It's sickening, really. And that's sort of all I have on this, but I just wanted to paint that picture for everyone and know that don't worry, hall monitors aren't gone. They're just adults now.
Oh. Yay!
That was good. I really like the sociopath take. That was interesting. When you're talking about like hall monitors being gangster, I think you could take it further and say they're like what are they called? Like the kingpin, and is like making people run errands and do favors for them in exchange for protection, and like you could even like
President of the United States.
Make it really dark, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Howard, did you have anything?
Well, I think it's very good, and I think it's very relatable. Whether you wanted to be a hall monitor or not, I think we could all relate to it. And then the way you described the teacher and the way you tied it together at the end was very good. So it was very good. Can't think of anything, maybe you just need to know it a little bit better.
Yeah. So it was relatable, and maybe she just needs to practice it more. All right. What about you, Summer?
I think it's great, Shale. I mean, you have like a whole set. Like it's like a fully formed, amazing set. Like, well done. I love the personalization, like getting to your feelings about how you feel about hall monitors. It kept me engaged and wanting to, like, I got involved in the fantasy of you wanting to be one. I thought there's a lot of opportunity for you to talk about pageants because I was so intrigued. I was like, I just want to hear more about you as a child pageant queen. Like or pageant contestant, whatever. I mean, it's just like so fascinating to me. That whole world, I'm like down for it. So I want to hear more. And then what else did I write? I said that earlier. Oh yeah, so the teacher, I'm a little older than you, so I actually didn't understand when you said teacher's aides. I didn't track if those were adults or children until the end, until you said it. So it just wasn't clear to me because I know I've heard it before, but when I was a kid, we didn't have, or I don't know, maybe they did have them, but I didn't have teacher's aides. So they're like, maybe even explaining what that is. Do they have to go to school for that? I'm just like curious, I guess, about the whole system. I love it.
No, that's good.
So much detail. Yeah. But great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. First of all, that's a really difficult topic.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. And yeah, I agree with Summer about the beauty pageant. Yeah, that piques everybody's interest. And there were some really, the lines you had to that were like the best, I thought, of your time.
Okay.
So fun.
Yeah. Going forward, you could probably write some decent material on a regular basis. Try to keep it fairly short. And when I say short, what I mean is setup punchline. Don't let the setups be real long. The premise, the setup punchline, just like that. That would be my suggestion.
You can write tight. You can write tight, Shale. You can. This is good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Oh, I can. Well, okay, Summer.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can go, Paul, if you want.
No,
Sure.
go ahead.
Okay.
No, go right ahead.
All right. So my topic was androids. And I actually had to do some research because I didn't know anything about androids. I decided to go with not the operating system for the phone, but the actual android being, or whatever you want to call it. So an android, in case, for those of you who don't know, an android is a robot essentially, but with the exterior of a human, like a flesh-like exterior, right? So actually, android refers to the male, this is all derived from the Greek, and gynoid is the word for the female android. And I just was like, oh, I never heard that term before, gynoid. It really sounds like something you'd have to go to the doctor for. You know what I mean? It's just like honey, I think I have a gynoid, but I'm intrigued by this. Also, just a side note, as I was typing in all this on my phone, when I typed in A and D instead of Android, my phone auto-corrected to my ex-husband's name, which is Andrew. So that was awesome. Like every time I tried to type it in, I just had to get reminded of my ex-husband. So thank you so much for giving me that topic. Also, as I was typing in female robot or female android into a YouTube search, I kept getting ads coming up for fighting wrinkles, and I was like, motherfucker, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, of course they would. Of course they would. They know what gets me. So a lot of feelings were coming up for me. A lot of some feminist feelings were coming up for me with all of this that's going on. And what really brought up for me was when I started watching these videos for this very extremely lifelike female android, gynoid, named Erica. Erica is a Japanese-made, very lifelike robot, very lifelike. You may have seen, I think this video was trending, maybe like it was viral about 2 years ago, and she has her own YouTube channel. She blinks, she breathes, she moves her eyeballs. If you haven't seen this thing, please just go do a search for it because it will freak you out, okay? So as I'm watching her YouTube channel, her creator, she's got 2 programmers, both of them are men, and then there's also a westernized, sort of a Western journalist from like Britain or America, whatever there. And the creator keeps saying things like, she's so cute, she's so beautiful. And it's like, hey, male scientist, could you at least like try to like hide the fact that you want to fuck this robot? You know what I mean? Like, could you just try? Could you just like try to maybe conceal the fact that you built the thing so you could eventually fuck it? Like, it's so, we know, we get it, right? But could someone just pretend that's not actually the case, right? And then as I'm sitting there, as we're all sitting here, then this creator goes, well, we don't do such things in Japan because it's frowned upon, but would you, westernized reporter man, like to kiss Erica? How would you feel about kissing her? And then this guy, the reporter guy, leans over and strokes Erica's face. And I am so triggered by this, right? Like, I am essentially watching Erica get assaulted because these fucking guys didn't program in her a desire to consent. Do you know what I mean? So Erica's just sitting there like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I have never been so angry from watching a video about robots in my life. And then, okay, and then here's the thing. They talk about this. They make a very big point of this. They are programming intention and desire into this android, okay? Because it makes them more human-like. If the robot does not have intention and desire, it ceases to become human. So that's a very interesting point just for all of us as humans to understand that and know that. So they go, what we're programming this into her. What is Erica's desire? It was to be the best secretary she could be.
Oh.
To be the best secretary she could be. Oh my God. And as I'm sitting there watching this android guy, this thing try to wrestle with intention and desire in this world controlled by men, I'm like, gynoid, I feel ya. You know what I'm saying? Feel ya, gynoid. Been there. I get it. Okay, last thing I'll leave you with here. It's like, I just realized this, that they didn't make these robots at all to resemble humans at all. Because if they did, the robots wouldn't want to fuck them either, just like the women in real life. Do you know what I mean? So they're not actually interested. But I really want, like, I'm sitting here playing the fantasy out of my mind, the sci-fi novel, taking it to like the blockbuster movie. And I'm like, even though they didn't program it to happen, just like Skynet becoming self-aware, like I would just love to see the gynoid muster up the courage from we have no idea where, and she just goes, I don't want to fuck you. That's it. That's what she's gonna do. I would love to see that happen. Please, God, make it happen. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
That was really good. Yeah, it would be really funny to like see like from a like you could do like a whole thesis on that guy based on how he built the robot, you know, like a whole like therapy sort of. If you were studying psychiatry, you could make millions writing a book on how she's built. I really like your style. Your rant is really good. And yeah, that's all I have. I think I thought of something else earlier, but I didn't write it down and I forgot, and I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe if it comes back.
Howard, do you have anything?
That was really good, and made some really good points too. It was not only funny but interesting. Really likable, even when you're mad, you're really likable. I think that happens with the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She like stays relatable throughout the whole thing. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, very enjoyable. I think I would put the last joke, what was it? Well, what was the last bit you did? The last joke.
The one about wait, what was the last joke? The very last one was
yes.
About the robot becoming self-aware
and saying,
I do not
Where
would
want
the robot
to fuck
saying
you.
Right. I'd
I do
move
not
that
want
up.
to. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd move that further up in the order
move it up.
because that's the best
Okay.
joke in that entire string. And we're not worrying about
Okay.
closing bits or anything. Just you're gonna.
Yeah.
I did this for a million years, so I'm just gonna say,
That's
keep it
awesome.
simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody needs to do that more. But it's very funny.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
obviously, the robots were built by the white patriarchy. Once again.
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh, you're
What
welcome.
about you? What about you, Shale?
I thought it was really good. I liked how you talked about your ex-husband. I thought that was funny to kind of like relate it into like just like the spelling of the word android as opposed to just like the object. And I liked at the end when you were like the robots, if they're obviously not even realistic. I thought that was a funny point you made. Um, and the whole about the creator making something that was fuckable, I thought that was very funny. I just felt like you were maybe going a little fast to get everything in, because
Yeah.
but you had a lot of good stuff, so I can see why.
Cool. Thank
But
you.
I liked it.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Who wants
Can I
to
add
go
one more
next?
thing?
Oh, it's Paul.
Can I
Yes.
add one more thing?
Yeah.
Because Shale
Yeah.
just made me think about it. Instead of having 10 jokes and trying to get them into 4 minutes, 5 and stretch them out patiently as long as you
Yeah.
can. Much better though. But it was great. I just for the future. So like
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Paul, are you ready?
Awesome.
yeah, I think I'm over my technological meltdown anxiety.
I'm sorry.
That's nobody's fault. I have one every day anyways. It doesn't matter.
All
Just
right.
always shows up.
Let me know
All
when
right.
you're ready, and I'll start recording.
When I'm ready,
Yes.
can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You had
Wow.
plastics.
I did. And I immediately put plastics in the throwaway bin. That just didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
So, most of this is new material, but since we haven't had shows to do in forever, it's been impossible to do the material and, tie it together with other things.
Okay.
So that's kind of more or less what I'm trying to do tonight.
All right.
What do we have? 5
You have
minutes?
3 to 5 minutes. I'll give you the 4 minutes like this, and then the 5 minutes like this.
Wait a second.
4
What
minutes.
was that signal?
4 minutes. 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm getting older, and there's no point in trying to run for them, don't get me wrong, I can still bust a move. Yeah. But then somebody's got to fix that move, and it's pretty expensive. I'm so old, the bust a move sounds more like bust a move. I'm older than I look. I just beat gynoid cancer, as a matter of fact. I'm just trying to deal with a lot of bad karma because I've been around too long. Young people have tuition debt. I have intuition debt. What I've learned recently, the most important thing is to remember this. When you're up to your neck in shit, keep your chin up. Uh, the world is a difficult place for all of us right now, and I'm not complaining at all. But yeah, it's a little more challenging to be an old white man now. It is, and that's fine. I rise to the challenge. But I find it ironic too because I've always been on the side of our underdogs, on the side of those trying to get up further in society, trying to make a better life. And I've identified a few problems here that I really think need to be dealt with. Number one problem is that Jesus was not white. Okay? Can we all deal with that? He wasn't white.
Right.
You know he wasn't white because no white man in the world would sacrifice himself for everybody else. That's not happening. Take it a step further, and here's the real problem with white Jesus, okay? It's those pictures. Now, you've seen the picture of the white Jesus. He's got white skin and blue eyes, and he's got long, kind of Farrah Fawcett kind of hair, you know? Yeah, that ain't Jesus. No. Jesus did not look like that, ever. But here's the problem. Your kids see the pictures of white Jesus, and you don't think it's a big deal. But after you've seen the picture of the white Jesus 100 times, you start to realize, hey, Jesus looks like us. They don't look like Jesus. And that's where the problem comes in. Hey, I'm going to teach a little bit. I don't mind. You know, there has to be some payback around here, and I'm totally behind that. Matter of fact, the Washington Redskins, they're dropping the Redskins. I salute that. That's good. But I think they should have to change it to Washington Jesus Skins. Yeah. Let's see how everybody likes that for a while. It's been a crazy week for me all the way around. On Monday, I almost choked to death on a piece of biscuit. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. Have you ever had that happen where you're eating? I was talking to my dad. We were eating in this little restaurant, and then all of a sudden I could feel this piece of biscuit kind of get all doughy and pasty and stick way down here. And I was like, uh-oh. I tried to cough it up. I tried to cough it the second time. I looked at my dad. My poor dad is like, what's happening? And I'm like, oh, this ain't good.
Oh, no.
I tried to cough a third time. Nothing happened to move the biscuit. So I got up from the booth, and I'm standing there trying to cough again while standing up. But now I can't even get enough air in to cough. My dad's trying to get around back to give me the Heimlich maneuver, but he's not really big enough for that. And then all of a sudden, this guy grabs me from behind with his arms and just like shakes me like that up and down like 2 or 3 times. And the piece of biscuit goes boom right back into my mouth, right? And I swallow it. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. I could tell it was a really big guy. It was somebody bigger than me, you know? So I turned around and said, thank you. And that's when I realized that the gentleman who just saved my life was a police officer who was sitting at the next table. All I could think was, thank God he didn't run my record first. Hold on. And then all I could think about was how horrible it would be to go out that way. I could just see my friends hanging around at the funeral. I heard you choked on a biscuit. Yep. The biscuit did him in. Those biscuits have gotten more than one good guy. So, all in all, tonight, I've learned a lot. I will keep learning a lot. But in the meantime, number one, please take down the pictures of white Jesus. Please, I beg.
Thank you. That was good. I really liked your take on white Jesus. I liked it a lot because it was, I feel like a lot of times people are like, Jesus wasn't white, so he doesn't exist, but like you went a different route completely and started talking about racism, which was interesting. It was more political than I thought it would be. And I like your biscuit bit. Maybe you could have tried to give yourself the Heimlich. I don't know. I feel like there's more in there. You can add more like little punchlines before you get to the end.
I think you're right.
I really liked your pacing. I like your voice. You sort of have like a deep thing going. It's very like slow. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. You're right about that. I will slow that down. That's good feedback.
Oh no, you're already there. I'm not saying you should slow it down. I'm saying it's good like this.
Okay.
It's good like that. Yeah. What about you, Howard?
Well, I thought it was good, and I think one of his strong points is he's really comfortable. He seems very comfortable. Very comfortable with yourself. Very comfortable telling stories.
You feel comfortable or uncomfortable?
Really?
Yes.
You hear me now? Yeah, he seems comfortable. He seems very comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Stories.
Seems comfortable.
Talking and just making it seem like it's a easy thing for him to do, actually. So I don't know if I got Jesus skins or not. Explain that one day.
The Redskins?
The Jesus skins?
Yeah, because like it's
Yes.
it's like cultural appropriation. It's insensitive, but if it was your own culture, people would feel differently about it.
That's what's like, as far as the Indians were.
It's making a social statement that I somehow missed. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good statement.
All right.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you. What about you, Summer?
Yeah, actually, that's great. Hold on, I'm just writing down something real quick. Okay. Yeah, I mean, awesome job, Paul. Like, I love the joke about when you're chin deep in shit, keep your chin up. That's hilarious. It's a great joke. I love it. Thank you for talking about white Jesus. That's awesome. I love the political stuff. You know, like I'm curious where you live, Paul. Where do you live?
Mm-hmm. I live in Denver, Colorado.
You're in Denver.
Yeah, I actually began doing stand-up in 1986.
Whoa.
Cool.
And it was just as these comedy clubs were like opening coast to coast. None of us knew that was going to happen.
Gosh.
It just happened. So I only did like open mic for like 2 months. 2 months. That's it. And then I was on the regular schedule at Comedy Works downtown Denver for 25 years.
In Denver. Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I worked
cool.
all over the country.
Well, yeah. So I guess that's amazing. Well, I just got because I'm interested in like what like the sort of politics are like where you are. That's why I just get what I get. I wonder.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you're very much like my outspoken. Like my mother is very liberal, and she would say shit like this at like Thanksgiving. and she would get called a commie by like, everybody at Thanksgiving. So I just wonder what life is like for Paul when you start to like do your material, or like when you do this for audiences, what is like. So my mind is going like, what's going to happen to Paul when he, you know what I mean? Like, where is he? Is he in Florida? Oh God. So I think it's really fun. I think this idea of being done in by a biscuit, I wrote that down as soon as you said you coughed on a biscuit. So I was like, maybe move that up and just more about like what it's like to be done in by a biscuit. I just love this idea of like, I think there's a lot of opportunity in what your friends would say about you, more stuff at your funeral. Where were you with a guy? Damn, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm also just curious about your life. You said something about like, my ear perked up when you said something about like you've struggled or something like that. And I was like, oh, how has Paul struggled? Like maybe you didn't say struggled, but like it was before you were launching into the Jesus talk. And I was like, oh, I wonder what Paul's life has been like and what your like I can tell what your feelings on religion are, but I'm like, how did you get there? And just the last thing, what Howard was saying about that last joke, like I kind of get why maybe that doesn't 100% track, but I wonder if there's like other opportunities in there for other team names. Like I think that's just a really fun, like you just do a string of punchlines with that. So it's really, really a great concept. So yeah, great premise. Thank you. It's great.
Well, thank you. You might have been, I was trying to like, hop on to one of your jokes about the gynoids.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
I said, I
wrote that in the chat.
Cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. It's so great.
That's
I said in the chat, see, it sounds like a real melody. When you say it, it sounds like it really does. Thank you. That
Never
was
heard
fun.
it before, so thank you. Yeah.
I know, right? It's such a very strange word. But it does sound like a cancer. It really does.
All right. What about you, Shale?
I thought it was a really nice set. I liked you had a really nice storytelling sort of thing. It flowed very well. I think maybe there's a lot of build up sometimes to the punchline. So you either want to maybe throw in some smaller punchlines or cut out some of it, just depending on what kind of ending you're going for. But I mean, I thought it was really fun and very like unique takes I hadn't heard before. I would have liked to hear a little more intro about the Black Jesus at the beginning, because like I've heard of Black Jesus, but I thought like it would have been nice to hear maybe like why is Jesus black? I don't know. You could have said like because he's from Africa, but
Exactly. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I liked the biscuit, and I liked your use of repetition. I thought it was really good.
Thank you. And you're right about the white Jesus. Is that like normally when I do the bit about white Jesus, I start by saying, I just have my DNA checked, and it turns out I come from a tribe deep in the heart of Africa. Because we all come from a tribe deep in the heart of Africa.
Yeah.
And that's why you know Jesus isn't white, because nobody down there was white. And I'm not saying Jesus was black, but he sure as fuck wasn't white.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
good.
understand what you're saying. Yeah. Some of these things I tried to shorten up because you know how it is. You're always like time conscious. I don't even know how long I did, but I didn't want to go too long.
I was a little over 5 minutes, but I wasn't looking at my timer as much as I should have.
Oh, that's okay. I kind of sensed that that's where I was, you know, but
Yeah.
I gave
Well,
somebody else the advice I should have taken.
You pulled me in your story, you know, your biscuits. All right, so everyone went once with the topic. Usually after this, everyone goes again with their own material. I don't know if you have more, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's gonna go with their own material. It's 3 to 5 minutes, and then you get 3 to 5 minutes of feedback. If that's okay, we're gonna do like me, Howard, Shale, Sommer, and Paul. That's good for everyone?
You're gonna do what? Say that again.
The order is gonna be me and then feedback, and then Howard and then feedback, and then Shale feedback, Sommer feedback, and Paul feedback.
Cool.
That's good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna start. This is like newish material. Let me just put my timer. Okay. So, a lot of my friends have been getting pregnant lately on purpose, I guess. Which means the sentence, "Don't worry, I'll drive you to the clinic," is no longer an appropriate response. I don't know. I'm just trying to be a good friend here. What am I supposed not to tell you? You're making the worst mistake of your life? Like, just get an abortion. They're legal. They're free. Go for it. Follow your dreams. Exercise your rights. You know? And to be honest, I think having babies is selfish. Babies are bad for the environment. We need less people, not more. And I do my part for the environment. I don't have babies. I swallow for the earth. And my boyfriend's a huge environmentalist as well. In our household, we recycle, we compost, we swallow. You know? I thought about being a nun when I was younger. But I never got the call from God. You know, like God's supposed to give you a sign. It's called the call. And I never heard it. I guess I was too busy writing Dumbledore Harry Potter fan fiction one-handed. And like God was probably like, yikes, she seems busy. I'll just ask someone else. You know. But I would have been a great nun. You know, my speed run on the rosary is 10 minutes. You know, if I would have been a nun, I would have prayed so fast. I would have finished my morning prayers before everyone else. I would have been the first one to go play in the park with all the other nuns. I would always be the first one on the swings. First one on the swings, first one to heaven, you know? And if I was a nun, I would have been so chaste. I would have been so chaste that the Islamic State would have been like, take it down a notch. You're chomping the flavor. You know?
That's good.
Nuns are so naive, though. They're so naive. Too naive for me. It's crazy to me that you can commit to giving your life to someone you're not even having sex with. It's not like they're getting married to God. And it's not like they're getting money to pray and judge people and wear drab clothes or whatever it is they do. I mean, I guess they don't get paid in money. They get paid in exposure. And that's great. That's great because it's not like they're going to get discovered from their podcast, The Jesus Christ Experience, or What the Frig with Sister Josephine, or This Chastity Life on NPR. That's it for me.
Yay!
All right, Howard, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was very good, Dr. Knight. I thought the part about the abortion was good, but you could go a little more about why you don't want kids. You could talk about that, I think.
Okay, I could go further into why I don't like kids.
Of course, yeah, I think so. And Islam would state line was. But that's
Yeah? Well, thank you.
The Islamic State. Cut it down enough. It was really contrasting. I really like that.
All right, thank you. What about you, Sommer?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I love, again, I heard it again, this like character that you have going on, which is like this kind of, this point of view of like childlike wonder. I really love this. And sometimes you say real facts and sometimes you don't say real facts. And I just love that. So like, if you're not consciously doing that, I just would love to see what happens if you just funnel everything through that lens, right? It's just so fun. I also was wondering if there's an opportunity for a comparison joke for like the life of a nun, or it could either be the life of a nun or like the life you would have had as a nun versus the life you actually had. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
that's
just
really
make
interesting.
just maybe like making like a chart and just going down like all the like brainstorming all the stuff, right? Yeah, I just think there's some real fun stuff in there. And then you said, well, nuns don't get paid, but then I guess they kind of do get paid or whatever, and you listed off all these things. And then I think another one is like, yeah, that they also get to have Jesus fuck them. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's also part of it. Jesus gets to fuck them. That's great payment.
Somehow you
Yeah.
make that sound good.
They get paid an ass in Jesus' ass.
Yes. That's all I had, but great job.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Paul? What do you think?
I enjoyed it very much. I usually try to side on the cleaner side,
Mm-hmm.
but that joke, that's worth it.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was very good.
Thank you.
I'm not totally clean either. I try to land on that side more often than not because it makes you different from everybody else.
Yeah.
But that joke
Fair.
is totally worth it. That was good.
Oh, thanks. I'm a very
enjoyed
blue
that very much.
comedian. I try to write clean stuff, but I end up talking about pussy or abortions, or I can't help it. But
there's nothing wrong with it.
I do try to do clean like the nun jokes. I feel like it maybe a bit cleaner. You know. Who would have thought?
Just don't do it for a room full of nuns. Don't do it for like the Fourth Presbyterian Church's benefit.
I would love that though.
All I can think of now is the phrase nuns who do anal. That's all I can think of.
Nuns who do anal. Oh, you know there's a subreddit thread for that somewhere, you know.
For sure.
No doubt.
What about you, Shale?
Yeah, I was a big fan of the nun bit. I liked how you were talking about like not getting the calling and how God was like, yeah, she's just not like she's too busy or something. Like I just thought that was really funny. I thought I agreed with what Howard said. I would have liked to hear why you didn't want kids. I think that would have been a little that context would have been good. But I thought it was funny when you were like, this is no longer an appropriate response to take them to the clinic right away. I thought that was funny. And yeah, I really liked the whole nun church bit though. Because it's just so opposite of what it's supposed to be, so I just really enjoyed that.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to Howard. Are you ready to do your material?
Okay, mostly new things, but a couple of older ones
All
put
right.
in there. And
Oh no.
so this COVID-19. Are we ready?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. This COVID-19 has really changed things for me and for all of us. I mean, before we used to complain about things that now don't seem important at all, like at the movies. Oh my God, I forgot to say no ice in my. I gotta go buy this night with ice in my. Oh my God, the line for the butter on the popcorn is too long. I'm at the beginning of the movie, which is gonna be no. Oh my God, there's no aisle seats. I gotta sit in the middle. I gotta tell you, if you told me right now, no chance of getting COVID, and I could go in and see a movie, ice in the soda, no butter on the popcorn, and a middle seat, I'd take that deal every time, would you? So, I've been reading in the news, just recently, the winner, Usain Bolt, named his first baby lightning bolt, an electric name. I was thinking, what celebrity could really give him a charge? I thought, well, if Chris Rock has a son, you could name him Hugh Will Rock. I guess it's gotta be successful saying that all the time. You will rock, you will rock. So, folks, you might have guessed, but I'm an attorney, and my wife's an attorney. And a few years ago, we started our own law firm. And I thought, so to each other, but we won't screw you. You know what I mean? So we happen to have an unusual type of law. We do a lot with elders. I have a lot of older clients who've been the victims of financial abuse, and we try to protect them in the future. And they tell me everything. Like my 86-year-old client Hazel, and this is a true story. The first time I met her, she says to me, "I love your hair." I said, "Thanks. I guess my hair is my best part." And she says, 86 years old, pretty sharp, huh? Then she took some pills out of her bottle, and I said, "Arthritis pills?" "Nope," she says, "birth control. You can never be too careful." Pretty sharp, huh? Then I got an 80-year-old widow client, Ethel. What she says to me, "Tell me, in a 20-year-old marriage, in a 20-year-old marriage, is it unusual?" I'm a big talker, but I'm speechless. I'm not gonna get into that. So during the lockdown, I've been trying to do some creative writing. It's really hard nowadays to write stories or movies or plays, much harder than it was back in the days of Shakespeare. And I blame it on one thing, the cell phone. The cell phone ruins all the plots. Like nowadays, if Shakespeare was writing Romeo and Juliet said, "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" the audience would just yell out, "Oh, go ahead, just text them. What are you doing?" It's so hard to come up with a plot now with a cell phone giving away the lines. So you saw my son. I know you thought it was my grandson, but it is true that I'm 71, and I really do try to keep up with pop culture and songs of this century, like "It's a quarter after one, I'm a little drunk and I need you now." Now that's a good song, but don't you think the next verses should advance the story? Like the second verse should be, let's see, "It's a quarter after two, I still haven't been through. Hurry over now." The last verse. What do you think the last verse should be? "It's a quarter after three, I just took care of me, so forget you now." He's nodding. Been there, done that. Well, I think it's about time, I think. Thanks.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you. That was so different from your baskets. I really was expecting something a little more poetic and then a stream of consciousness, and it was very different. I liked it. Yeah, I liked your pacing was good, I think. Maybe you can punch your jokes a little bit more. But I don't have like any specific for you right now.
Well, I've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
The highlight of my career was fourth place in Orange County's funniest person. A long time ago. I never moved up past fourth place. Now they don't even have the contest anymore. And I know that my big thing to work on is that I have some songs, I have some other songs that I like to use, and people like the songs, but it sort of stops the conversational style.
Yeah.
In the personal style, and I'm still sometimes trying to mix that in, how to stay real and yet keep that in too. That's the thing I work with.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if you did this before and you changed it, but I feel like you can even talk about how it should bring the conversation forward first and how you wrote the song and then just do the 3 bits of the song without stopping and continue
I've never tried that.
It wouldn't be as conversational, but someone told me that in stand up you shouldn't have, and I don't know if that's true, maybe you guys will disagree, but you shouldn't have open-ended questions that the public could like answer to. It should only be rhetorical questions. Or no questions at all. You should have it as a statement.
What if they say it? What if somebody in the audience figures it out and yells it out?
Yeah, then you have a heckler on your hand and you have to deal with that.
You mean like, how's everybody doing tonight?
That's not what I meant.
When I say, what do you think the last verse should be? Somebody could figure it out and yell it out and give out the punchline.
Yeah, or make their own, you know?
Or make their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be like I'm working on this and this is what I figured out because I'm a writer, so I like to the story to move forward. I think the song's a little stale, and then you can even roast the writer of the original song and saying he's a shit writer. And I don't know if maybe that's probably not your style. But yeah. But I really liked it. Like, I liked it a lot. It was good. I like a good song in a set. It breaks the monotony, you know? What about you, Summer? What did you think?
Yeah, okay, cool. That was great, Howard. I had a really hard time hearing a lot of it. So I only have a few things written down. It was like I heard bits and then like it was soft the whole time, but then actually it broke up for me. So I'm so sorry about that. But I have a couple of things. Yeah, I love the premise about like the things we used to complain about pre-COVID, like lines at the movie theater. I think that's great. I think my mind was going, so what are some other things that we or you used to complain about before that you will never complain about again? And then I just heard kind of the intro about your clients. I think that it's a very interesting job, and I just like kind of want to hear more about your clients. Like, I'm like a huge fan of like Better Call Saul, and I just like I just want to hear about lawyers helping people out. Like, just tell me about these characters. I love them. And I think I really think the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like let's hear the truth about all these people, right? I mean, whatever you're legally able to. I don't know. Maybe you cannot talk about it, but I just think the truth is better. You know, stranger than fiction, of course. What was that?
Those were true stories. Thanks. Those were true stories. Those true stories.
I can't hear you, Howard. I'm sorry.
Those were true stories. Those two stories.
They weren't true stories?
Oh no, they weren't true stories.
They were.
Oh, they were.
They were. I thought they were. Yeah, I thought they were. Yeah, I love to hear that. I think it's all like there's so many fun details in there, and it's like you can't make this stuff up. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's so. These must be some really fun characters. And then I just also wanted to know why you decided to have a kid at 41. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting to me. I just want to hear all about your life.
That's not part of his set, though.
I know, but you did mention
privileged information.
I know, but he did say it. You did say it in there. You said, yes, I'm 71, and you know what I mean? I know you mentioned your son in there, so I probably wouldn't have put it together, though. You're right, if I hadn't had the privileged information, but I do really want to hear about that. And then I just really love this, like, kind of Mr. Rogers kind of vibe that you have going on there. I mean, to me, that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Well, Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I love it. I think I want to see, you're like the Mr. Rogers of comedy.
Something X-rated without swearing, and that just shocks them. I think that's okay.
What? Say that again?
Once in a while, I throw something in X-rated.
Yeah.
Not with swearing, but I'll throw in X.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you play up the Mr. Rogers thing even more, right, then when you say something X-rated, it's like, whoa, Mr. Rogers, you're getting kind of racy over here. Anyway, that's all I got. Good job, Howard.
It's really about Thank you. My new clothing is very Mr. Rogers, so I think maybe it was the right thing to do. I didn't show it.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there. What did you say?
Oh, I was saying my new
Yeah.
clothing, which I didn't give tonight, is Mr. Rogers. It's kind of funny. It's about a story that happened to me that made me want to do comedy. It's sort of a sentimental thing. And I think it maybe it works.
Okay.
It's who I am. I hope.
Okay. Good. I wish we had time to hear it, but we really don't have to move on. Paul, what did you think about Howard's set?
I was having technological difficulties again, so
Oh yeah,
I
that's
was
right.
out and then I was back. I really only heard like about the last minute, but I do want to address the idea about asking questions of the audience. In general, yeah, once you're trying
Please.
to learn and become good, yeah, don't give people opportunities to speak up. But you can ask rhetorical questions. Just answer them before there's too big of a pause in there. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean that's good. It's always good advice. Don't ask too many questions. But the further you'll get along, if you want to, you can. You know, I know guys that they're really good, but the thing they enjoy doing most is just working off the crowd for a few minutes. But they've been doing it a long time.
That's so scary.
So you're right.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah.
until you've done it a few times.
Yeah.
And once you've done it a few times,
Mhm.
then you realize how much better you've gotten at this. And it's pretty liberating.
Okay. What about you, Shane?
Okay, Paul.
Sorry, did you have something else? I'm so sorry.
You're talking to me?
I'm talking to Paul.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. It was your turn, Shale.
Yeah, no, I liked that movie theater. I liked that premise a lot. I think you could do more with it. To like, I think you could like go further and say like unpleasant things you would rather do than be in quarantine. Like seeing a movie without butter on your popcorn. Okay, mildly unpleasant, but be like something else. Like
Watching another Shia LaBeouf movie or like I'm thinking
yeah,
of
or be
movies
like
that
going to see a chick flick that like, or I don't know, just anything. But I thought Hugh Will Rock. I thought that was hilarious. I I thought that was really funny. And I thought your use of like throwing in the X-rated comments was really good, and I think you should do that a lot because I think it just contrasts so much with what you look like. Because I think you look like a very wholesome, like grandpa
Yeah.
kind of man, and when you say something that's like a little like kind of inappropriate, I think it's hilarious, and it's got like some shock factor, but it's I just found it. Those were my favorite. Like we'll screw each other, but we won't screw you. I thought that was so funny. So I loved that. Yeah. So that's but yeah, I would definitely try to just focus on like what's your punchline and what do you need to get there. You know, don't make sure you're not over talking.
Mm.
All right. Next up, I think is Summer. Or
Is it?
Shale.
Okay. I think I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. What do you want to do, Shale? Do you want to go?
I don't care. Doesn't matter. You can go.
All right, I can go. Okay. This is some relatively new material about my family. I'm trying to work on sharing about the people that are closest to me. my parents are kind of unusual. They really love to party. So I talk about my dad and how he's a partier, but the thing I usually don't also talk about is that he also likes to do everything himself. Okay, like men of a certain generation, they love to do everything themselves. And how this was really demonstrated was so my dad and my mom both love to tan, right? And they're so au naturel. They live in Florida now because it's also Margaritaville and they can party all the time. Well, I mean, they used to before the COVID. Now, they're still going to the beach. Scares the shit out of me, to be quite honest, because there's also a tiki bar on the beach, and that's where they love to go. But so my parents love the sun, and after I was raised in Iowa, but after me and my sister graduated, they moved to Florida where they could be in the sun all the time. They used to complain that their babies, me and my sister, weren't tan enough. So we never wore sunscreen, and now, not surprisingly, my dad has skin cancer. And my dad actually he found a melanoma on his chest, and he tried to cut it out himself with a scalpel. So this is just like, interesting guy, right? Likes to do everything himself. Thought he could just do it, right? He wasn't able to get it all the way out. So he knew he had to go to the doctor. He didn't tell my mother this whole time, right? Then he tells the doctor what he did, and the doctor tells my mom, she's like, what the fuck were you thinking, right? Trying to cut this shit out of yourself. But it actually tracks because, when I was younger at a ballpark, I was chewing some licorice, and I pulled the braces that I had straight out of my mouth, like with one of these like really sticky licorice. And it was like a Saturday, and the dentist was closed on Sunday. And my dad was like, no problem, I got this. Takes me home, takes out a set of dental tools. Who knew he had a whole set of dental tools, and does orthodontia on my face, right? Fix me right up. Fix me right up. And so I'm thinking, like, my dad, he's always got the right answer. I feel like when I was born and they were such hippies, that my dad was probably like, you know what, babe, to my mom, I got this. We'll do a water birth at home. I got all the tools. I can cut the cord myself. I ended up being born in a hospital, but, I guess that's just my dad. The other thing my dad always has, he always has a buddy for something. And this was demonstrated recently. I was talking to my dad about my impending divorce. Yes, we mentioned this earlier about my impending divorce. So my life is going great. So I don't know if this is relevant. My husband, when I turned 40, left me for a 25-year-old acting student of ours. We were both acting teachers. That may be relevant for what I'm going to tell you about my dad. So I'm sitting here telling my dad how much this divorce is going to cost. I don't have any money. It's going to cost like a lot of money, right? A lot of money. And my dad goes, I could have him murdered for $3,000. And I was like, I'm sorry, Dad, what did you say? And he goes, I could have him murdered for $3,000. And I was like, what? Dad, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, I got a buddy who's got another buddy who used to be in the CIA. He loves doing this kind of shit. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, who am I really to hinder like an old man coming out of retirement, do you know what I mean, for like one last big job, right? So I told my dad, I think about it, right? I told my dad, I think about having my ex-husband murdered for $3,000. And then before COVID, I was telling this story, which I really should, I'm telling the story. I'm an overshare. I was telling it in a dive bar in Chicago, and I hear a voice from the corner of the bar go, you shouldn't talk about having people murdered for $3,000. And I was like, oh God, you know what? You're fucking right. I shouldn't be telling anybody this. I shouldn't be saying this right now. We're streaming. Do you know what I mean? Like no one should know about this. And the guy comes out of the shadows and he goes, because you never know who might do it for less. And I was like, I've got so many options. Well, pre-COVID, I had so many options. Actually, I probably have more now. I could probably stand on the street corner and go, hey, anybody, I got $3,000 if you want to murder my ex-husband. And there's so much unemployment right now. I'm sure somebody would do it. So, all right, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was good. Your dad sounds like a scary man. You said that you were born in the hospital, and that sentence, I think, just throw it away. It's funnier if you were like, I know it's not accurate, but it's funnier if your dad did it himself.
Okay,
and like,
all right.
I don't know, sold your mom back up and somehow had all of the
Yes.
the equipment.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I was
love it.
thinking
Yeah.
like your dad is asking his friend to murder your husband for $3,000, but why doesn't he do it himself? He's a DIY man, right?
Yeah, right.
I feel like maybe you can make fun of him for that. Like, hey, what's up, Dad? I thought that
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's great.
you don't have any tools in your garage that I don't know.
Yep. That's great.
But yeah, that's all I have. What about you,
Alright.
Howard?
Oh, it was really good, and every punchline was really good, and the last one, "Do it for less," was really good. Did take a little too long to set up, I think. I mean, it's new. I think it takes a little too long to set up, particularly the beginning was maybe more than we needed to know about. Good. And have you seen the movie Body Heat?
The movie what? Body Heat.
Body heat.
With the
I am familiar, yes.
away. It's actually about killing somebody's husband. That is reminded me of someone.
Can you say that again?
You might like that.
The movie's about killing somebody's husband.
Body.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm the interpreter.
Body
Thank you, Shale.
You're good.
Heat.
Shale's such a positive presence.
Thank you.
All right. What about you, Paul? What do you think?
What else can I possibly talk about other than your dad? My God, what kind of hippie was he? I think that's a question you should really ask.
Sure, that's fair.
And I don't want to be the first one to tell you this, but yeah, your dad's a serial murderer. He has the tools.
He sure does.
Very
You're right.
disturbing.
I had the orthodox.
All hippies aren't good. You can really have a lot of fun with this
Yes.
if you go ahead and grasp the wildness of
Great.
it. That would never cross my mind in a million years. But that's what makes it funny.
Yep.
He's got dental tools for no good reason. Yeah, he's a serial killer. It's a law.
Oh, that's
Does
great.
he have an excavation business too?
Well, no, he's a contractor though, so he could totally get rid of the body.
Same thing.
Put it right in the
That's
walls. Yep.
There you
Mhm.
go.
Oh my
That's
God, I'm getting really scared. Don't tell him I said this.
Okay, I won't.
I don't want to be the one who ratted him out.
Oh, that's
don't
so
know.
That is a great subject.
Oh my God. Thank you.
You should really run with that.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
All right. What about you, Shale?
Yeah, and I thought I liked your premises. I thought those were really good and unique. I liked it was like your personal family. That was good. I think maybe what would make it stronger is if you did more like show, a little less tell. Like instead of saying like he pulled out his dental kit, like be like I don't know, just like the way you say things. I think you could be like, and out of nowhere, or like I don't know, he's got a scalpel in his hand and he's slicing him. Like I don't know, just like this is a terrible
Yeah.
the
Like,
feedback.
put it-
I'm so sorry.
You mean like
Oh.
put it in the present of like out of nowhere he pulls out and like to make it like it's happening now?
I guess that's just what I would have done. I don't know, but because I felt like you were
Just like an act out of.
because I felt like we were at sort of like a dinner party and you were telling us this story that just happened.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if that's how you want it to come off.
Right. Hmm.
But that's something to think about. But it was really funny and like we were all like waiting for the next curveball for you to throw at us because it was so crazy. So that was really good.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right. What about you, Paul?
That's
Paul
helpful.
already went. Right?
Oh, I'll talk about your dad again for 3 minutes if you want me to.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Paul just really wants to meet your dad.
No, it's just that subject. This the way
Yeah.
you will never hear
I
anybody
know.
else talk about a hippie like that ever.
Yeah.
So
Right.
run with it.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, is everyone ready for the next person?
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be Shale. You ready?
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's gonna be fun. Alright, I'm starting your timer now.
Okay. So hi, my name is Shale. Shale. It's like kale, but tastier.
That's good. That's
I have a last name too, but once people hear my first name, they don't really give a shit about my last name. I prefer to look at it as my last name is optional. So I'm basically just like Cher or Beyonce. But shale has a couple different meanings. Not hope or dream, nothing like that. No. Shale is a type of sedimentary rock.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so right away you can see why I've spent years in therapy. You see, my parents wanted to name me after a rock, but they didn't want me to have an old lady name, so they skipped Ruby and Pearl. Okay, I can get behind that. They also skipped Topaz and Crystal because they didn't want me to end up as a stripper. I mean, could you imagine coming to the stage? Shale! It just doesn't work, people. So I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty glad that I ended up with Shale. Because there were some runners up, granite, quartz, and rust. I don't know how they came up with these. But there's a lot of challenges to being named Shale. Like when someone says Shale did something stupid, no one ever goes, "Which Shale are you talking about?" It's me. I'm the only one. You know, additionally, I can never find like a souvenir keychain, pocket knife, or shot glass with my name on it at the shops. Going through life without a personalized miniature license plate, it haunts me every day. But another responsibility of having my name, there's so many. I mean,
Yeah.
I need to have a story prepared on how I got my name. Because there's always someone asking, "How'd you get your name? It's so unique." So naturally, I've started just making things up. My parents hit it big in the oil drilling industry. My dad, he's a huge supporter of fracking. That one's really popular. Or my favorite, I'm a combination of my parents' favorite animals, shark and whale.
Yes.
Ah.
That is the true Urban Dictionary definition of my name.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of whale, shale rhymes with a lot of words. Male, ale, jail, bail. I just described my last relationship. I should have known he was a liar when he said Shale was a sexy name. But shale rhymes with even more words. Pale, frail, fail, betrayal. That's my current relationship. You know another word that rhymes with shale? I'll tell you, it's braille. My next relationship is going to be with a blind guy. Because why not? But in the end, I'm happy to have my name. I'm the only Shale. You know, there's no one famous named Shale, but there's no one infamous named Shale. You can't say that about names like Adolf or Karen. Sadly, though, this unique name also means I have no anonymity. So when someone matches with Shale on Tinder, sometimes they decide to send Shale a friend request on Facebook or a request on LinkedIn.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Josh number 4, I'm not looking to be your business partner. I'm looking to fuck. All right. Hope I rocked your world. I'm Shale. Thank you.
Thank you. That was good. I thought that Rust would have been a cool name.
Maybe if I was a guy, I could have pulled it off.
Rust. I feel like you can go with that and be like, if my name was Rust, oh, I would be like on the edge, you know, bungee jumping, doing a bunch of flying.
I feel like I'd be a drug dealer or something.
Yes. Also, I thought that your line on personalized license plate was gold.
Thank you.
And the way you delivered shark and whale was perfect because you made it like a matter-of-fact, sarcastic way. And I thought you could explain a relationship with a blind guy more, and maybe this is not appropriate, but you could make a bunch of dirty jokes if you wanted.
Okay.
I feel like
about with the blind guy or just in general?
The blind guy.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you were going.
No, the blind guy. Yeah, that's it for me. What about you, Howard? What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was very good. So clever and so we feel for you. I think I didn't think that the blind, although it was good that it rhymed with braille, I didn't think it was quite, how do you say it? It wasn't quite unexpected enough. No way. Or not. There's some pretty good blind guys out there.
Okay, I can respect that, yeah.
But other than that, have you ever heard the poet Archibald MacLeish? He had a great definition of humor. Now, it's not all humor. It doesn't fit all humor, but some humor. He said, humor is the sudden realization of the incongruous. So you think to yourself, oh, that doesn't quite, oh, I see how that goes together. And you have a lot of that. I just didn't think the Braille one quite was incongruous enough. But everything else, wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
All right. What about you, Summer?
Yeah, great. I love your jokes. I mean, they're so well written, Shale. What I just have a couple of very small things. I just think the word fracking is like a really funny word. Like, I wonder if fracking was a runner-up for one of your names. Or I don't know. I just think that would just be so funny to have that be an option. And then also I love the whole, like, you know, I don't know if you were going for the reference to Sharknado or something like that, but I love like the idea of like a whale and a shark and a whale. It could be like another one of those movies, right, where they mash up two things.
Oh yeah.
And so I just think I don't know what other, you know, kind of, I don't know. I just wonder what that would look like if you starred in your own mashup or something. And yes, I have the same situation with my name because my name's spelled differently, so I never could get the there is not a shot glass in the world or a novelty mini license plate that has my name on it. So I totally hear you. So I think there may be even some more. I feel very strongly about that as well. So yeah, I just think that I like the feelings that brings up for you that you missed out on because of your name. And then I'm so intrigued by the online dating and like the shit that people will do when they find out your name because it's unique. Like sending you a friend request on LinkedIn is hilarious. So I just wonder if there's some more things like in there, you know what I mean, about the real fucked up online dating shit, with the fact that you're kind of a target because of your name.
Yeah.
So yeah, great job though.
Thank you.
Perfect. What about you, Paul? What did you think?
Yeah, very good. That was a pretty long chunk of time there about your name.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And there weren't any dead spots. So that's pretty good. I'm not sure what I would do differently about that. It sounded real good to me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's high praise coming from Paul.
Right.
All
Paul,
praise is high.
all praise is high.
That's
All
right.
praise is high. Yeah.
All right, Paul, are you ready to do your set?
I am.
Yes?
I am.
All right,
Mhm.
I'm going to start now.
Okay. It's hard enough in the world. I'm sure you've been following this, the Cards Against Humanity. I mean the Trump administration. That's how I refer to the Trump administration. God, I have never hated a public figure so much in my life. We're going to have to make some changes. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be, but we cannot have any more of guys like that. If it means no more old white men, then no more grumpy old white men. I hope my son's generation can do better. My son's 31. Matter of fact, he graduated from law school at the University of Chicago, which means he immediately discovered that he hates law and now lives in my mother's basement. But the worst thing about that is I had to move out so he could move into my mother's basement. We all have our problems in life. Good Lord, I've had plenty. I was addicted at one point to cocaine. Really, what I was doing was I was trying to treat it my major depression myself. I never got on an antidepressant, and looking back, I should. I just used coke because nothing works quicker than coke. Now I'm on the right antidepressant for me. I still crush it up and snort it, but it's the right drug. Now I just look for heroin. All day, look for heroin. Oh, I don't mean the drug. I mean I just need a strong woman in my life.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
My son, he was very precocious as a child. I'll never forget this. One morning, he came out of his bedroom and ran into the living room, and he said, "Daddy, Daddy, I see dead people." And I was like, "Oh, no, they're just sleeping, son. Dad had a little party after you went to bed. They're not dead." You don't need to be a perfect parent, thank God. I ended up going to prison myself for 12 years. But it was not comedy related. We're all safe. So I went through that. I'm not going to do a lot about that right now. What I want to talk about is how we've been dealing with COVID. I know it's been hard. I know for me, I first realized how hard it was going to be when they told me at the strip club that I'd have to pay $20 for a lap dance from 6 feet away. But after a month, I'm ready to pay $100 for 12 feet away. again, the Washington Redskins changing their name. And I'm all in favor of this. I could not quite see how Redskins was inappropriate until I asked myself the question that if somebody said, "Hey, you know Joe over there," and I went, "No, who's Joe?" and they said, "The Redskin." Okay, there's no way that's going to be a positive remark. I finally realized that. Trump wants to rename them the Washington Red States.
Mm,
Ugh.
God.
Overall, I'm totally in agreement with this. I'm not in the middle. Tear down the statues, take away the nicknames that are harmful and offensive to people. I mean, look, if your people like pillaged and raped the world, you should not be glorified by a mascot, and that's why I think we have to change Minnesota Vikings. Also, it's got to go. I think that's it.
Yay!
Oh no, one more thing. I forgot. A Hindu and a Buddhist walk into a bar. They sit down. Bartender comes over. The Hindu says, "I would like a beer, and it has to be for my caste." Bartender says, "No problem." Looks at the Buddhist. The Buddhist says, "I would like the most expensive drink in the house. But even though I'm dying of thirst, I want you to put it in front of my friend here so I can learn through his suffering." That's when the American at the bar leans in and goes, "Suffer? He's got 2 drinks in front of him. How could he be suffering?" Yeah, I don't like the last line. I should have stopped at learning through his suffering. I'm done.
Yay!
I mean, the last line is, I see where you're trying to go with it. That, like, the Americans are, like, always like, it's not that bad, you know? I mean, I'm talking to a bunch of Americans. I hope I'm not being offensive.
Oh, don't worry. We know.
Okay.
Related to him.
And I wrote here, I really like that you crush up your antidepressant and snort them. And I would love for you to sort of like do more on that, of like how like your therapist is like, have you been taking your meds? And you're like, yes, I'm fucking snorting them. And then also you could say like the bottle read like, 1 pill a day orally. And then you're like, maybe I'll just do lines of lithium instead, which I thought was funny. But yeah, it was a very good set. And I also wrote down, are you a grumpy old white man? I don't think you are. But I feel like you could maybe go into that a little bit. And yeah, it was very, very good. It was very entertaining.
Good.
Thank you.
That was very good. Very good feedback. Thank you.
What about you, Howard? What did you think?
Oh, I liked it. This time I couldn't hear about 30 or 40% of it. But the ones I really liked were Cards Against Humanity, Heroin, and Lap Dance. Those are the 3 I wrote down that I put. And then I just like the fact that we really feel we know you when you're through. We feel we know you, and we're going to be rooting for you every time we see you up there. So that, I think, is really gets the audience on your side, which is a real plus. And if I can maybe be so presumptuous, has your son ever considered either elder law or guardianship law?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Has your son ever considered either elder law or guardianship law? If he wants to work with people more than just technicalities, you might want to look into that.
I see. Okay.
Is that advice on his
That's
set
great
or on for his son?
It's life advice. Well done, Howard.
But I felt like you learn so much about him in his speech, you might as well butt in a little into his life. So,
Okay. Wow, thank you.
Nice.
What about you, Summer? What did you think?
Look at that, Paul. Howard's giving you giving your family some legal advice and career advice. And did you think you were going to get that out of this? That's amazing. Well, I
just don't know if my son will listen to Howard. He doesn't listen to me. I don't know. I'd listen.
Yeah, and you have to be the one to deliver it to him. Maybe he can watch this back, and you can be like, "Look, see, he knows what he's talking about." So Paul, I just love your whole point of view, and like I'm a fan. I love it all. I think it's great. I'm not so sure that non-comedians would know the Cards Against Humanity debacle. That's kind of a comedian thing, but I mean, yes, like you may have to explain that or something. I'm also curious about like what your hopes were for your son. I just love this whole idea of like the hopes we have for our children, and then they end up living in our mom's basement. Like I just think there's so much fun stuff in there. Also, okay, so the crushing up the antidepressants and snorting them, love that, amazing. I'm wondering what were some. So my dad, also an addict, but also was a cocaine dealer. In addition to everything else, my dad dealt cocaine as well. So I have a little bit of knowledge about this. I know it just goes on, right? Like tip of the iceberg with this guy. But I was wondering, what are some things that, since you were self-medicating with the cocaine, what are some things that you could have used, some instances where you could have used those antidepressants back in the day? And then also, how like, there's like names for like cocaine, like white lady and all that shit. Like what is it called? What are some street names for when you crush up antidepressants and snort them up your nose? I just think that's a really great idea for some fun bits there. And then I love the thing about your son saying like, I see dead people, and you're like, I just thought, so a funny thing would have been like, oh no, son, she'll perk right up with a bump. You know what I mean? Like, she's not dead, son. She'll perk right up in a few minutes. And then also, oh yeah, Paul, what are some other fun things that you have gotten woke to? You mentioned your wokeness. I think there's just a lot of fun ideas in there. And yeah, and I know that you didn't want to get into it now. I don't know if you have material on this, you probably do. But yeah, I just think you have such an interesting perspective out having like been in prison. That's like, to me, I'm like, I want to know more. Like, I want to know what this guy has to say about stuff from that perspective. So yeah, I just think it's great. Great stuff.
Thank you. I do have a show.
Oh, great.
That I've been developing. Yeah. About.
Awesome.
It's about prison, addiction, mental health, all of us.
Sounds great. Awesome.
That's good. What about you, Shale? What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was, I feel like I learned so much about you. That was so good. I liked, I think it's really hard to incorporate like comedy into when you're trying to tell people like the background and stuff. So I think that you did a really good job of that, of trying to make things lighthearted and not like, and when you're dropping something heavy on us, to like keep moving forward. And I would make sure to keep doing that. But I found everything you said really like interesting, and I had one other thing, but I lost it. It wasn't very important anyway. But especially just about I think it's hard to I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'm sorry, but it was very good. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Shale.
That was good.
And I'll be sending you that friend request right after the meeting, Shale.
Okay.
On LinkedIn.
All right. Now is the time of the show where you guys get to plug in like your social media, your groups, your open mics, your podcasts, or anything like that. Howard, do you have anything?
I don't really have anything right now. Sometimes I'm in something that's on a Sunday night, but Not as good as this, thankfully. The workshop that I go to then. So I've been on some Zoom shows lately, but nothing on a regular basis.
All right, that's good. Thank you. What about you, Summer? Do you have anything?
Yeah, actually, I wasn't sure if that, can they see our names? I don't
Yes.
know.
You
Okay,
have
so
the
I just
Twitter.
put Twitter first. That's my Twitter handle, and then the Instagram is the second one there. And yeah, I do a show called Wisecrackin', where basically we play an original Quiplash game from Jackbox Games. A bunch of comedians try to write punchlines in real time. It's wisecrackin.com. So there's no G on the end, just wisecrackin.com. And that streams. The next one's going to be actually tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And yeah, and then I also have, I don't know, if anyone wants to shoot me a private message, I usually send out and put things on social media about shows I'm doing another one tomorrow, doing these things where I've got open mics that are just an open mic for myself over Zoom, and I have a host. So if anyone's ever interested,
Nice.
just send me an email.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
you do, yep. And that, I was like, why not? And so my friends get to see new material stuff. So like how Mike Birbiglia and Maria Bamford are doing that. I was like, why not me?
Mm-hmm.
I could do it too, I guess.
Of
So
course.
thanks everybody. This is super fun to be here.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Paul? Do you have anything?
I have like number one, I will do these kind of things all the time because I just want to help other people learn how to do it and learn to do it better. Everybody's in a different stage, and that doesn't matter. There are things you can learn at each stage that will make it easier to get to the next level. It's a very difficult art.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody's been able to write a book about it that everybody goes by. Because it depends. It depends on who you are. It depends on who you want to be on stage. For some people, it's better for them to develop a character. There's nothing wrong with that and be that character.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things are fine. So things like this, if you send me a notice, I will do it.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
What about you, Shale? Do you have anything?
Yeah, so I followed like how Summer did, and I put my Instagram, it's celebrity for when I'm
That's
famous.
great.
Follow me. And then this Sunday night, I have a show on Zoom, so anybody anywhere can watch. It's through comedyschools.com. So look it up, buy a ticket. It's only $10. Comedyschools.com. I'll say it really slowly. But that's all. Yeah, thanks for doing this. This has been great.
Thank you. Perfect. I also have a podcast called The Dirty Four. And if you're ever in Montreal, we have an open mic called The Dirty Four Presents Open Mic Night. It's bilingual, French and English.
Was that the Dirty Floor? Floor?
The Dirty Four. We're four idiots that do blue comedy, each in a different way, coming from a different background. And I have a Twitter, Vicky B Twice, and an Instagram, same thing. I'm gonna end the broadcast now. If you want to stay, we can discuss a little bit more. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.